Yes, Shashi Tharoor ji.
We are all facing in 2 months' time the centenary of this absolute horror when in cold blood somewhere between 379 and 2,000 people were mown down by General Dyer and his troops. And it was a cold-blooded imposition of colonial will, Madam Speaker. This was not heat and dust. No one was using violence. These were unarmed men, women and children. They were shot down. This was a great national tragedy, and the fact is it reflected a number of betrayals. The betrayal of the support given by India to the British during the First World War, the betrayal of the promises made of dominion status to our country, the betrayal also of the moral compact that binds those who rule and those who are ruled. It was an act of wanton cruelty. It was a great tragedy in which innocent blood was spilled. And the fact is, Madam, that at that time, I do want to stress, at that time, those British who were ruling the country tried to brush the sin under the carpet. They actually tried, Madam Speaker, to exonerate General Dyer for his wrongdoing. And when the House of Lords had actually passed a resolution supporting him, it actually took a British newspaper to conduct a campaign to raise money to reward him. And he was given £26,000, almost the equivalent of £250,000 today, with a bejeweled sword to honor him for killing Indians. So there is no question in our mind this is a national atrocity. It made Indians out of many who had not seen themselves as Indians. Sir Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood in protest. It was a major national calamity. I feel very sad, Mr. Deputy Chairperson, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that we are looking at a politicization by the ruling party of this great tragic event in our national history. This should have been a time where the House should stand up unanimously and demand an apology from the British. On the centenary on 13th of April 2019, that's what we should have been demanding, not taking petty action to remove the leader of the Indian National Congress from the trust. Let me explain, Mr. Speaker, what the background of this was. It was the Congress that set up its own investigation because the British were trying to whitewash the crime. Jawaharlal Nehru personally went to Jallianwala Bagh, counted all the bullet holes. There was a detailed report given, and in that report the Congress party laid out the nature of this horrible cover-up the British were trying to do. It was the Congress party as the nationalist movement that provided relief to the wounded, the dying, the helpless who were given assistance by us. In December 1919, we had a Congress annual session in Amritsar, presided by Pandit Motilal Nehru, where it was decided that the party should acquire the Jallianwala Bagh in order to build a national memorial. The British tried to block it. They tried to put other things in that site. But in fact, a resolution moved by Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, whom this government has honored with the Bharat Ratna, he passed a resolution saying the Congress party should take over this site. It was passed in 27 December 1919. And let me quote the words of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. He said, "We have decided to raise the memorial, not with any narrow motive, not to keep alive the dark deeds of General Dyer. We want it to be a memorial to the Hindu-Muslim unity that had sprung out of the intermingling of Hindu and Muslim blood on that field of carnage." Quote unquote from Bharat Ratna Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. The Congress intended this monument to be a symbol of unity in our country, of Hindu-Muslim unity, something which sadly this present government does not value. A special committee of the Congress was appointed with leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, Lala Lajpat Rai, many others, and they acquired the land. It was an extremely difficult process. The British actually tried to even set up a cloth market on the site in order to prevent the Congress from doing this. Mahatma Gandhi made an appeal to the nation to donate funds to the Congress for this purpose. And as a result, can you imagine in 1919, 1920, 10 lakhs of rupees, that is like 10 crores today, were raised by the Congress party for this purpose. 10 lakhs of rupees in 1919 is an astonishing sum of money. Yet it was mobilized by the party because of its faith in the values that we sought to memorialize. A trust was established to oversee the development and maintenance of the memorial. And by 1951, Jawaharlal Nehru was the last living member of that trust. That is why the Congress party decided to establish instead a statutory trust to oversee the site. And it was Dr. Ambedkar whom this government pays lip service to, who actually moved the resolution, moved the bill in the Lok Sabha on the 21st of April 1951 to convert the trust into a national statutory trust. In that bill, he designated the President of the Indian National Congress as an ex officio trustee. Why did he do that? Because the Congress party had bought the land, the Congress party had established the trust, the Congress party had roused the conscience of the nation on what had happened in Jallianwala Bagh. Therefore, because of the intimate connection between the Congress and the memorial, as Pandit Nehru himself said in the debate in Parliament at that time, that's the only reason that the Congress party president was placed as an ex officio trustee. For the BJP to have a minister stand up here and demean this proud history of our nationalist movement by saying that it is merely the actions of a particular political party, to my mind, this shows the mentality of those who are sitting in power today, Mr. Deputy Speaker. We are facing a government that does not respect the sacrifices of our heroes, that does not respect nationalism. Let me say, in fact, in 2003, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Culture, under the chairmanship of a senior CPM leader, Shri Nilotpal Basu, presented a report on this very subject to this very House. And in that report he says, quote, "The composition of the Jallianwala Bagh National Memorial Trust, as prescribed in the Parent Act, was in order, and the inclusion of the President of the Indian National Congress was in keeping with the contribution of the Indian National Congress and the freedom movement in general, and the glorious struggle which led to the Jallianwala Bagh incident in particular." Yeah. This was the level of non-partisanship that existed in our politics. Even our political opponents had the maturity to recognize the role played by the Congress party in the freedom struggle. Today, this government is trying to deny that history with this bill by removing the Congress president from the trust. What a shame it is, Mr. Deputy Speaker. What is the heritage of those who want to deny our history? The parent body of this party, the RSS, the Sangh Parivar, they have a shameless past in genuflecting before the British. The man whose portrait they've hung in Parliament, Mr. Savarkar, wrote 11 letters of apologies to the British. There are memos of the British Raj which said that the Sangh kept itself within the colonial law, refused to participate in the Quit India movement. Did you participate in the Quit India movement? You opposed even the Constitution of India, and now you are trying to deny the role of our freedom struggle. You are betraying our nationalism. Let me say to you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, the bill is worse than that. It also gives the right to remove any trustee without assigning any reasons. Right. Why is this government fearing accountability? Why do they want to control a trust? Why is it that they can change a nominated trustee based on political reasons and pack this glorious memorial of Hindu-Muslim unity with Hindutva ideologues and government stooges? You know, sir, that they have packed people of a certain ideology into the Nehru Memorial Library, into the Indian Centre for Cultural Research, in the Indian Council of Cultural Research. In this situation, Mr. Speaker, we have to, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we have to say this government is betraying India. They may think they are advancing the political interests of their party. They are betraying India. They're betraying the history of our country. And I must say that this is the same government under which the Sound and Light show in the memorial has been stopped because they have not been giving enough money. They have not given enough money to the memorial. How much money had you given to maintain this memorial that you now want to change the trustees? Mr. Minister, you have to explain, please, where under the Kala Sanskriti Vikas Yojana, where you allot a lot of money to art, culture and other related activities, have you given 1 paise for the Jallianwala Bagh memorial? How can you say now, having reduced this budget, having cancelled the light and sound show, the Sonne Lumiere show, which people came from around the world to see, how can you claim to be defending Jallianwala Bagh? In 2 months' time, it's a centenary. This should be a time for national unity. We should all stand up, remembering the evil atrocities of the colonial empire. We should say we fought for our freedom. We are Indians first. We are not BJP. There was no BJP blood spilled on the ground of Jallianwala Bagh. It was Indian blood. And I want to say to you all, you are spending years reinventing the past. You are mythologizing history. You are trying to erase lies. And I do want to say, you have not even put a single paise into the budget. How can you plan a 100-year centenary when you have not even planned to memorialize such a major occasion? I request the government speaker to please withdraw this bill. Withdraw this bill. Please repent that you ever had such an unworthy thought. Do not expect the members of this House who believe in the unity of India to stand for your divisive politics. You are trying to erase our history. You are trying to pack our institutions with right-wing ideologues. You are neglecting the sites of our heritage. You are not giving money for the cause of our own history and our own memory. Do not demolish the secular fabric of our country. Do not destroy the pluralism that is at the heart and soul of India. We will fight for the future.
धन्यवाद उपाध्यक्ष महोदय।